If you don't know me, I am Kate, and of Kate Valdo and Company. And this morning we're going to be talking about the biggest misconceptions about being organized, because I hear this all the time from people like, oh, I'm just not an organized person, or there's no way that I could ever be as organized as X or as you, because I do this for a living. And so I wanted to speak to that because being organized is not something that just happens overnight and then it's permanent. And if you want to know exactly how I suggest organizing your business, go to the link in my profile. I'll link it to this as well. But to get the burnout proof influencer roadmap, and that shows exactly what I'm talking about right now. But so you can get free access to that. But so organization is not something that happens overnight. It's not something that is like a one and done. It is something that you work on all the time, and that you're constantly training your brain to think in a more strategic, efficient, and then organized way. So that is that's what you have to do in order to if you can reframe that it's a one and done kind of thing, that you just get organized and then it stays that way forever. That's not how it works. You start to learn habits and little tricks of things that you can do to hey there, good morning. You start to learn habits and tricks that you can do to make your life easier and to make it so that you can maintain the organization and the systems and the order that you're putting in place in the first place. And that, I think, with creatives like bloggers and influencers, you are so creative and you're so talented in that you feel like you have to be one or the other. If it doesn't necessarily come naturally to you to be really organized, you might feel like you have to be one or the other. Either you have to be you can be creative or you can be organized. You can't be both. And that's definitely not the case. In fact, we were talking about this last week, that really when you are more organized, you can be more creative because you've got that headspace around you to do what you need to do to serve yourself and feed your creative drivers, right? So for example, this morning I was just talking about daylight savings time really hitting me hard. Well, I slept in until I don't know, an hour ago, and it's 11 a.m. So that's maybe I should be embarrassed about that, but I'm not, because I know that I'm getting all my work done. And so it's not an issue because I have systems and organization and order and all those things set up so that I know I'm not falling behind. I know that when my body is telling me I'm exhausted and I need a break, that I can do that because things and it's also not stressful that I'm going to take the morning off, because I have systems and I have a to-do list and all those things that I know are waiting for me, but it's not something that I just feel like I'm going to be diving back into everything and really stressed out about where do I start, where do I go, can I be creative, all those things. I don't have to worry about that. So, but that's a constant work in progress is what my point was in all of this, is that it's a misconception that you can just get organized and it stays that way forever. And good morning, everyone. It's a big misconception that that's the case, but I also don't want to overwhelm you by that, because it's always you continually improve and it gets easier and easier, just like anything that you do. If you, when you started your blog, think about when you had a WordPress plugin fail and your site was down and you wanted to lose your mind and pull your hair out. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Because that is the most infuriating thing ever. And the first time it happens, it's oh my God, how am I going to handle this? This is so overwhelming. I don't know what to do. And then the more that those things happen, after the first time it happens, you figure out how to troubleshoot it. And maybe you figure out some things that work well and some things that don't work well. Maybe you don't want to pay your host to fix it for you, but you do. Or you find some really awesome technical person that can be your go-to IT person whenever your website crashes and So now you know. And the next time that it happens, you are way more encouraged to get, like, it feels better. It doesn't feel scary because you know how to get through it. You know how to get to the other side of what you're trying to accomplish, and you also are a lot more efficient with it, right? So that also happens with everything that you do in your business. When you're creating order, you have systems, you like know exactly where all your emails are. So like the first time that you go through sorting out your email and having a plan for how you triage where things go, that's really overwhelming and really scary. And hold on, I need all the coffee today. And maybe not scary, maybe scary is not the word, but like to some people it might be scary. But the first time you're going through that, it feels like really intense and like, this is so difficult, I'm never going to be able to do it again. But then the next time you go to your email inbox and you have that system in place for how you sort things and where you put emails, you know what to respond to when, then it's way less difficult. It takes you less time. It doesn't feel as overwhelming. And then you kind of know, you start to pick up on things. Your brain starts to think in this way of like, how can I be more efficient? Like, is there something that I can do? Can I create a canned email? Can I, make some autoresponder or something like that would make my life easier? So your brain just starts to think that way and it becomes easier. And then you become more organized, right? And so then you're spending less time in your email inbox and you're spending more time on doing the fun, creative things that you're really good at and that you want to do. So I think that I just wanted to speak to that misconception that I think a lot of people look at somebody who appears to be really organized and have everything together, and they say, oh, I could never do that. Like, I could never be organized or get organized. And that's really not true, because you're really capable of anything and everything. We have the internet. We have people like me and other online like teachers who can teach you exactly how to do this stuff and like copy what we do so that you can put it into your life. So there are all these different ways that you can go about accomplishing something that you think that you could never do in the first place. And I think that's pretty empowering too. So I encourage you to think about, like that you're not, just because you're not organized right now doesn't mean that you can never be, or that even if you got organized, you would never be able to stay that way, because you're certainly capable of that. So I hope that like made sense to you guys. Like this video and comment and let me know like what you thought, if that makes sense, if I'm hitting on things that you can relate to, because I think this is something that a lot of people deal with. And also, like I said at the beginning, I have that you can get free access to the Burnout Proof Influencer Roadmap. I'll put the link on this video, and it's in my profile as well. So, all right, guys, bye for now. And I hope that you are surviving this time change and drinking lots of coffee today. All right, bye, guys.